Let me tell you something. If you think that you about to come up in here and steal from the Wally world because you ain't getting no food stamps,
Mm.
I'm gonna call the police on you. I'm gonna call. They're on speed dial. I'm gonna call them expeditiously. I don't care. I don't.
Wow, you've got the Walmart employers responding.
I'm just saying this right now, and I don't want to scare you right now, but I think this is something that needs to be told, and not told. I think people need to be on alert now. If
Talk
you
to us.
think crime in Philly right now was bad, it's about to get real bad. They just put it out that funds of food stamps and everything that's on your EBT card is on a pause. As of, I believe it's starting either tomorrow or today, but it's about to stop. The reason why, when I say about to stop, as of right now, it's stopping. So just to let you know that people going to be in struggle mode. That means that you're going to go probably a month or so without any funds.
Right.
If you're going if you're going at least a month, especially in a city where the crime and there's no jobs is already horrible, and you think crime was bad before, it's about to skyrocket. So I'm gonna say like this: for all my people that's out there, I'm glad I moved out the city, but at the same time, I still got my family. I'm still back and forth, and I'm gonna tell you this right now: keep your eyes and ears open and be mindful of your surroundings right now, because right now people are in struggle mode. They just got finished trying to rob a bank, not a bank, the truck
That's
for
crazy.
the money, the Brinks truck, not the Brinks truck. You know what I'm talking about.
I really feel bad for employees because not only are people threatening to steal, but they're threatening to get violent with these employees. I mean, think if you work at like a Walmart or something like that, it's just, you don't need that, right? The government shutdown is out of your control. Here's another take I thought was interesting with the caption: grocery snatching soon.
And people are going to start, I'm telling you, this is going to be a thing. People are going to start, instead of stealing groceries from the stores,
Right.
they're going to start watching people go to their cars and they're going to take all of their groceries. And you know what the store going to do?
Hmm.
Not our problem, not our business. It's outside the store. They didn't do it in the store. It's not our property.
They need to have security in the parking lots. If this actually pans out the way people have been talking about it, and which doesn't seem too far fetched, because if you think back to the pandemic, I don't think people anticipated, or at least I didn't. Maybe you thought that like toilet paper and hand sanitizer would have been real hot commodities. I was genuinely shocked by how frantic people were acting during COVID. And people did sort of overdo it, right? You had people who had a bunch of stuff that they ended up not using or needing because, of course, people begin to freak out.
Call 911. Call the authorities. Make a report. They're going to leave your ass for dead. And people are really going to be stealing people carts of groceries out of the grocery parking lot. I'm telling you. It seems like it's headed that way. Now, what other choices are people going to have to find food?
You know, get it delivered if you can afford it. Not everyone can. Yeah, this is why these stores really can't wait to use AI and just have machines do all the work. The Coffee Pot is backed by fathershaverights.com, the ultimate prenup prep guide for men who value marriage in our modern day. Future husbands, the divorce industry makes billions when men walk into a lawyer's office unprepared. Don't let the system profit from your ignorance. My step-by-step guide at fathershaverights.com, created with expert attorneys James Sexton and the lead attorney, hands you the questions, checklists, and strategy to walk in 10 steps ahead, and it costs only a couple of dinner dates. Click the link pinned to the top of the comment section, secure your future, and join the hundreds of men preparing their marriages the right way.
Because people about to be out here struggling. They about to be out here bad. So do you really think they're going to look at you with all these groceries, packing it in your car, about to go home and feed your family from the, hard-earned money that you made from working your job that afforded you the affordability to buy those groceries? They ain't going to they ain't going to care. They going to snatch them bags up out your hand and be like, I wish you would.
Hmm.
And some just might lose their for it, and it ain't worth it.
Let's look at some of these comments. Top comment here says Smith and lesson time. I think, oh, okay, he's talking about firearms there. Somebody else responded back. I was just thinking, not mine. Here's somebody else who says, funeral homes will be busy. Another person who added, Second Amendment says I'm keeping my groceries. Right. This is America. Another person who added, it's called concealed carry. Another person here added, not in Texas. They're not. Blatantly walking up to citizens who are not employees of stores and thinking you're going to rob them. You should think twice, depending on the state that you're in.
Food stamps. Look, I'm seeing so much complaining about food stamps right now. Just a mentality of entitlement created by living off of government subsidies. I get it. Some people need it. My older sister has autism. She's 26 and has the mental capacity of about a second grader. Of course she needs help.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're disabled or elderly or even both. Look, food stamps, they're good when you need them, but for most people, they're not supposed to be a lifelong thing. And people who pay taxes should not have to bear the responsibility for your life decisions. And then you're going to hop on social media and complain and say you'll do whatever you have to feed your kids, except go get a job or actually do something honest? Here's our solution. Let's go out and steal, and we'll put pressure on the store clerks and police who are paying for the very subsidies that we enjoy, instead of the Democrats who are holding the filibuster. Honestly, though, food is the easiest budget to stretch. And don't act like there isn't churches or other organizations to help with childcare, or schools to send them to if they're old enough, so that you can go and work at Sheetz for $15 an hour.
I've told you guys in my last video where I was addressing this, I said, hey, I see the need for food stamps, just like this gentleman here says. I've never been on food stamps, but I do remember when I first moved out of my parents' house and I moved out to Southern California. I remember going to church and leaving church. In the front there, they had like groceries and a lot of produce. And that helped me when I was getting on my feet when I first moved out of my parents' house. I see no problem in people wanting to help other people. I do see an issue where people are not only entitled, but are ready to commit crimes and hurt innocent people, right? The people that work at these grocery stores because they can't get what they want.
You know, I know from experience that you can buy a lot of rice and pasta on $15 an hour.
And I'm sorry, one more thing, because somebody said when you're not on food stamps, you're not allowed to go out and start beating people up and taking what you think is yours, right? But all of a sudden, the people who are on food stamps think that that's justified. And what type of world would we live in if everybody who couldn't afford something just said, hey, I'm just going to take it from whoever I want to take it from?
Not to mention the churches and food banks that give out food. That budget is easy to stretch. Look, my mom busted her butt all my life so that my sisters and I would not grow up in that mentality, which ends up being a generational mentality of oppressed or oppressor. Secular humanism at work again. And frankly, people misusing these benefits are probably a bigger reason as to why these subsidies got drained so quickly after the government shutdown. And then people are hopping on social media acting like they're oppressed by the rich that won't give them their money, which they already have. Look, I know you don't like it, but the rich pay more in taxes than you do, and they're not obligated to give you or I any money. But I'm glad you're willing to do whatever it takes to feed your children. Accept what is honest. Let's go cause our fellow Americans pain. What kind of logic? Hey, my son was born 6 days ago, and the difference between you and I is that I'm going to work tomorrow, even if I don't want to. And if you were to ask my mother the same question, who was a single parent for a very long time, she would say the same thing. And two, this value isn't just some preconceived ridiculous notion I've created myself, but it comes from watching others break out of that lifelong curse, and it's biblical. Look at 2 Thessalonians 3, 7 through 13. For you yourselves know how you ought to follow our example.
Amen.
We were not idle when we were with you, nor did we eat anyone's food without paying for it. On the contrary, we worked night and day, laboring and toiling so that we would not be a burden to any of you. And we did this not because we do not have the right to such help, but in order to offer ourselves as a model for you to imitate. What kind of model are you being to your kids? Let's keep going. This is verse 10. For even when we were with you, we gave you this rule: the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. And we hear that some among you are idle and disruptive. Sounds familiar. And they're not busy. They're busybodies. Sounds even more familiar. Yeah, such people we command and urge in the Lord Jesus to settle down and earn the food they eat. And as for you, brothers and sisters, never tire of doing what is good. Here's what I have to say to you out there that decide to hop on social media and complain about food stamps when you don't need them. How dare you? The example that you set for your kids, that you will go steal the food you need before you've tried getting a job or looking for help elsewhere, have some decency. Instead of putting pressure on decent people who don't deserve to deal with your generational curse, find others and go storm the gates.
Wow. Wow. Very well said.
So I just had a big fallout with one of my so-called friends pertaining to the whole food stamp fiasco for next month. And she just kept saying all this stuff about how most of them lazy anyway, they don't want to work and this and that. First off, I don't know where y'all from, but in the state of Alabama, in order to receive food stamps, you have to have at least a part-time job unless you're disabled or mentally ill. Secondly, where is this elitist attitude coming from? Like, no lie, y'all, I was literally just on food stamps in 2019, 2020. Like, life got really hard for me a couple of years ago. Like, and she has been on the program before, too. So I was kind of looking at her crazy when she was saying that. And then she was like, yeah, Cardi B was right. No Thanksgiving for them. No Thanksgiving for them. And she was just killing herself laughing. And I'm like, this is bigger than Thanksgiving. It's bigger than one day. And regardless of how you feel about these people and whatever they do and want, those kids are going to starve. Those kids are literally going to only eat at school and be hungry when they're at home all month. It's not just a one-day thing. It's a freaking 31-day thing. Do y'all not get what's going on? This is a big deal. And like for all these people to be sitting up here and saying all this bad and negative stuff about people on food stamps, like, it could always be you. You may be up right now, but please humble yourself. It could always be you. Anything could happen and you can end up on food stamps. Like, I can't stand that when people start making money and then they forget where they come from and they start acting elitist and like they better than people and stuff. No, these are still humans. These babies don't deserve to starve. Just because you don't agree with their parents' lifestyle, like even the ones that ain't doing right and bucking the system. They children still deserve to eat. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Ugh.
You know what? I really hate to say this, but I hope they do dismantle the whole SNAP benefits program. Because a lot of y'all are lazy. Like, let's just really face it. This program has been around for years, okay? Years. And a lot of y'all still have not learned. Y'all are lazy. You don't either want to get up and go to work or you don't want to find you a better job because you're comfortable in what you're doing. You don't want to do too much, but you're expecting to get paid a lot of money to do nothing. Get up and get a job or go get a better job. It is not the government's responsibility to feed you. This is the type of BS that I've been seeing on my timeline, and it is very frustrating, okay? What a lot of people fail to understand and realize that 80% of people that are on the SNAP benefit program work. And the reason that they are on the program is because life is expensive. Groceries are expensive. Rent or mortgages are expensive. Living is expensive. So for those who are complaining about others who are frustrated about this shutdown regarding the SNAP benefits program, you really need to wake up and stop judging. Not everyone is lazy. Not everyone is sitting on their couch not doing anything. Life is expensive. There are folks out here who make $100K a year or make $75K a year and are still struggling. There are families who have the father around, because I know that's a thing too. You got all these kids. You shouldn't be having all these kids with these men. Yeah, there are families who have all parents and all parties involved and are still struggling. So before you open up your mouth and judge, make sure you're not next.
Hey guys, as always, I appreciate you checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. To my currently engaged or soon to be married men, if you need a prenup and would like a guide that shows you how to get a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and access your guide at fathershaverights.com today.